G'day Jackednnerdy fans, Jeremy here with a review video for the Obi Wan Kenobi series on Disney+. This series just finished airing its last episode 4 days ago, back on Thursday last week. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to jump in and do a full kind of review of how I felt about the series, because they have been calling it a limited series, meaning that there's very little possibility that they're going to be doing a season 2. So we'll just call it a series review, even though it's only one season. So before I begin that review, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you do enjoy these videos, make sure you give them a thumbs up. And as well, if you're looking for any extra content, feel free to head over to our Instagram page at Jackednnerdy. We've got heaps of content going up there every week, lots more behind the scenes kind of geeky stuff, but also lots of content on the Jacked side of things. We've got workout videos, we got nutrition videos, mental health videos, all of that sort of stuff going up on there all the time, but as well as lots of behind the scenes geeky goodness. So head on over to the Instagram page at Jackednnerdy if you're wanting more content. So getting back to it, so Obi Wan Kenobi was a 6-episode series on Disney+. Each episode only goes for between 30 to 40 minutes, so it's not an overly long show. It's very easy to get through all the episodes. You could really watch the whole thing in a day if you were so inclined. But when they first announced this show, I think a lot of people were on the fence about it. A lot of people were saying this is a series that no one was really asking for. I've got to admit, I was a bit the same. I wasn't really outrageously outspoken or about this. I wasn't overly optimistic either. So going into it, I mean, I was excited to see what they did. I did love Ewan McGregor in the role of Obi-Wan, and I was interested to see what they did. If you saw my initial reaction video for episode 1, I thought episode 1 was fantastic. It was a great way of bringing us back to this world and reintroducing us to the characters and where they're at. They also did a fantastic job of doing a before the events. So they kind of took a lot of footage from Revenge of the Sith and all of that, and kind of gave you like a bit of a preamble before the first episode to bring you up to speed or just remind you on what had happened. So episode 1, I was very, very pleased with, and they did a great job with that, bringing you up to speed on where everyone's at, reintroducing you to Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan and what he's been up to in the years between the events of Revenge of the Sith and now. And it was really, hey, look, a lot of people hated it, but I thought it was kind of cool seeing Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers in there. It was a nice little surprise there at the end of episode 1. So episode 1, 2, I really enjoyed. Like, it was, it really kind of, it felt like Star Wars. It was a bit exciting to see, what was going on and everything. I felt that episode 3 was okay. I didn't have too much negative to say about episode 3. Episode 4 and 5 did feel very filler though, and quite flat. I think a lot of people kind of felt this way. And then episode 6 did end the series with a big bang. It was very entertaining, and I've heard nothing but a lot of great, people saying great things about episode 6, the final episode. I thoroughly enjoyed episode 6. Full of action, very reminiscent of Star Wars and everything. So I felt that really this whole series could have been condensed down into maybe a 2-hour movie. I don't think it really needed the length of time that it did. And I whilst I did enjoy it, I really don't see what the point was of making this series. It hasn't really contributed to the overall story of Star Wars. Hasn't expanded the mythology in any real way. So whilst, okay, yeah, it was entertaining, and all that, I still kind of say, what's the point? What was the point? They had a lot of hurdles that they had to try and overcome, and I don't feel they really overcame those hurdles, in the sense that we've got Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Episode 4, A New Hope. We know what happens on either side of this series. So the creators of this series had a lot of restraints in what they could and could not do, because it had to fall within the canon of those 2 episodes. And so they had their hands tied creatively a lot, I feel. And from a audience point of view, it's kind of like, you know what is going to happen at the end of this series, right? At the end of this series, Obi-Wan gets old and he's on Tatooine for when Luke Skywalker gets older, and and thus kind of begins the events of Episode 4, A New Hope. So for us, it was kind of like, I know what the outcome is going to be, so what's going on and things like that. So look, they had a lot of restraints, and they had to, and look, even in the, and they, look, I think they did do a decent job in making the story fit within the constraints. However, it did raise continuity issues for me. I don't want to get into too many spoilers. I don't want to go into any spoilers, but I'd much rather you watch it, make up your own mind, and if you agree with me, then let me know. Or if you don't agree with me, let me know. But for me, this raised too many continuity issues for me. Whilst I enjoyed it, I could have done without it. Okay? Now, casting-wise, I mean, look, you can't go wrong with Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. He's already established himself in that role. It was kind of good to see Hayden Christensen come back to play Darth Vader. Even though it could be anyone in the suit, it was kind of nice to see Hayden Christensen back. Moses Ingram, who played Reva, or I think it's third sister, they called her, the Inquisitor, third sister. I thought she did a great job. With what little she had, because her character isn't overly fleshed out in this series. It's a very two-dimensional kind of character. So they didn't give her a lot to work with. I think she did a great job. There were a few moments where I found her character to be very irritating, but that was a character flaw, not an acting flaw. Because, like I said, her character was very two-dimensional and not given a lot to work with. So I think if the character had been more fleshed out and given more backstory and more room to kind of develop as a character, it could have been the complete opposite, and I think it could have been all right. But I think a lot of the criticism that she has been copying is more of a character flaw within the movie and less of an acting issue on her part. I think it's more of a character issue. So that's it. Again, that's just my opinion. She's been copying a lot of hate, and I really don't see the point of that. She gave it her all. It's not like she half-assed the job. She gave it her all, and I think for what she had to work with, she did do a good job. So, thumbs up to Moses Ingram. Rupert Friend, I hope I'm saying his name right. Rupert Friend, who played the Inquisitor, he was all right. Yeah, he was good. Again, what little screen time he had, he wasn't. I think the issue, because they made it 6 episodes and only 30 minutes each, or whatever, they couldn't give each of the characters room to grow and develop and what have you. So whilst, like I said, Rupert Friend, Moses Ingram, they did all right with what they had to work with, but they weren't given a lot to work with. So that's where I think it fell flat. So, look, and I mean, look, there's lots of other actors and actresses who are involved in this show. Too many for me to give each of them their own little spiel. But like I said, so I think part of the issue with this series is that because it was so short and so quick, it just wasn't fleshed out, and it wasn't as creative storytelling as what we've come to expect as fans. So, look, all in all, like I said, whilst I did enjoy it, there are a lot of flaws and a lot of issues with this show. So, look, and I'm finding this with a lot of the Disney Plus shows, not just. It's an inherent issue with the Star Wars franchises or the Star Wars properties that they're making it very, very condensed, very, very quick, and not spending a lot of time on them. And look, I mean, there are these issues are also crossing over into other properties that Disney Plus are doing, like the Marvel ones. Whilst they are a little bit better quality, it's only very, very small. It's a very fine line. And this is coming from someone who's a massive fan of Star Wars and Marvel and DC and all that. I am a big geek when it comes to these properties. I love them terribly. They hold a very, very big place in my heart, and it breaks my heart to not be able to give them raving reviews. But I have to say, the longer they go with these things, the more of them they create of this caliber, and the less that they improve. I don't know how much more I'm going to hold out with these sorts of things. On the plus side, though, at least we've still got the originals that we can go back to and we can watch. It's as John Campier, who many of you probably already know online, as he keeps saying, they can make movies, they can make TV shows, they can do whatever they want, because they're the owners of these properties and what have you. Whether or not they're good quality, whether or not they're great, or whether or not they're poor, that's yet to be decided. But at least as fans, we've always got the originals that we can go back to. So whilst Obi Wan was good but not great, if they do make a movie that's a complete pile of rubbish, at least we've still got the originals. The originals will never go away. So all we can do is keep our fingers crossed that the next one is better than the last, and that they improve in time. So I'm not going to give this one a very big rating. I'm going to give it like a 5 out of 10. In all honesty, it's right in the middle. It's good, a good waste of a day or a couple of hours, but it's not great. They do pull on some of the nostalgia strings, both in the first, third, and last episode. They do kind of pull on the nostalgia aspect, and look, especially the final episode. If anything, you can skip. You can watch the first episode, maybe the second, and then you can skip the third, fourth, and fifth, and go straight to the last episode, and you'll still have a great time. You'll understand the story, by cutting out that middle section. You'll still know what's going on. You'll still completely understand what's happening. So, even if you're stuck for a short, if you've got an hour and a half free, watch the first episode, the second episode, and then the final episode, and you'll still be good. And and you'll probably actually have an even better time. You'll probably have even more fun with it. So look, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Whilst I didn't hate it, I didn't love it, and let's just hope the next one gets better. So I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, it's just a very basic review. I don't want to go into spoiler territory. I want everyone to make up their own mind. Hit me up in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. And again, if there's something else that you would like to see us do a review of, if there's an unboxing that you would like us to do of a particular action figure or Lego set or something of that nature, let us know in the comment section below. And while you're here, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. We got lots more content coming out over the coming weeks, so make sure you keep an eye out for all of that. Why not? Hey, hit that bell icon next to the subscribe. That way you get notified each time we post up a new video. That way you never miss out. Until next time, guys, stay jacked, stay nerdy.